The topic of the show is Karl Jacobs from KFBF to rising celebrity.
And still KFBF. You guys don't get to revoke that from me.
That is true.
Why do I lose that? What?
You don't lose that. I mean, your history with us is storied, Karl. I have a couple of things real quick I want to bring up just for context for people out there. We first met you at TwitchCon.
No. MomoCon 2016.
It was you were at MomoCon?
MomoCon 2016.
That is absolutely what. So how'd you get there?
That's MomoCon 2016.
I thought this was TwitchCon. Oh my God.
I gotta tell you. So right there, all the way to the right is my brother, the one with the afro. He has an afro.
I remember this kid so vividly.
He was like our in. You guys loved him.
Yeah.
You guys are like with that hair, like
that's so freaking funny. Oh my God. So yeah, MomoCon 2015. This was the first convention that we went to as a group after leaving IGN.
Yeah, it was. I was very locked into IGN. I thought that was my career. That's what I was like. I'm gonna go become a games journalist. I was positive. And this was like when Kindafunny did their thing. I was like, oh, it's like a culmination of all of what I like about IGN, and now they're doing it like them. You know what I mean? And that was so cool to me.
So how old are you there? How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26.
Dude, I'm gonna blow your mind. I was 17, I think. Maybe 16.
Yeah.
At the oldest, I was 17 years old.
That's absolutely wild, man. Like that's how far back this goes. And then, so where were you living at this point?
I was in a high school in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I was living. That in the middle right there ended up becoming my roommate in Portland whenever I went to Portland for college. But yeah, that was before I was in college. So I was living in Charleston, going to high school, just being a high schooler.
And then, so what, MomoCon was in Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes.
So how did you get there?
I did not have that much money, but what I did do was I worked at a retro game store, and then on the side, I woke up every Saturday, 5 or 6 a.m., goes to every garage sale, went to every flea market, tried to like buy games to flip. Like I was obsessed with like just all things games. Like I back then, there's honestly maybe even up to now, you guys can name any video game and I could probably tell you within $10 how much it's worth.
I love that so much. By the way, this is slight spoilers, but Karl will be joining us for a Kindafunny game showdown.
And so I'm taking it home.
Yeah. I hope not, because you're against me. You know what I mean? I don't need any more bullshit on that show. But okay, cool. So man, that's wild. You're this young kid and going to MomoCon, saving your money with retro games to go to MomoCon. But then there was many other places that you would pop up in. I
want to talk about MomoCon for a second.
Oh, go for it. Yeah,
because I haven't told you this, but this is, or any of you guys this, but this was like MomoCon to me. And why I'm always as thankful as I am to you guys and why I will never, ever take it for granted is because of MomoCon and how you guys treated me, treated my brother, my roommate, and my mom that took us. You guys, like, this isn't just because I'm in their studio right now. I was holding this to tell you guys while on your guys' show, but that was, like, probably the biggest point of movement in my life to push me towards content creating, to be honest. Like, I really mean it, because it was always something I really wanted to do, and it was you guys supported it in like a, like, yeah, you should try this, you know, and it came from you guys who I looked at as like, this is what success should look like to me. You know what I mean?
I mean, so that is incredibly kind of you, but I do think that you're tapping into something that is so genuine and authentic about what we have, and that is community. And I think that it's such a beautiful thing that it's a learned experience, right? Like, you don't know what community is until you're part of it, and you can see how special it is to be able to be in a room with people and just sit down and start talking to someone you don't know, but realize, oh, we have shared interests. We can talk about our love of obscure GameCube games or whatever it is, and just have Fast and Furious, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever that the thing is that's just like, oh wow, we can connect on this. And you know, I've been so proud of you for so many reasons in the last 10 years of seeing you kind of skyrocket. But what I love so much is that you value your community so much, and that I would say that more than any of the other creators that I've seen, specifically solo people, like solo streamers, the Karl community and the way you treat them and the way they see you, and there's this like amazing relationship. It's so special, and I really do truly feel that comes from things like MomoCon and things like actually being able to experience like people being good to each other.
Well, I again, this isn't just to like, I feel like this is like a glaze fest for me.
It's happening. It's all good.
How I interact with fans like in person stems from what I like learned from you guys. Like seriously, like what I took in and really valued from you guys, because I probably bugged you guys way too many times at MomoCon. I tried to like, and it's funny because now that I have people that recognize me, I could tell when somebody like does like a, oh wait, like the, oh, are you know? But as a kid, that's what I was doing to you guys 24/7, and the amount of grace that you guys provided to me was just crazy.
I can't explain to you how much I remember your brother. Like, I can't explain, because MomoCon was such an important moment for us too, because it was not only our first convention as Kind of Funny post IGN, but that was like definitely, I mean, that must have been Nick's first convention ever. Because like we had been to like, or at least as like on panel talent or whatever you want to call it.
You know what's funny about that convention? Kevin was there, but he hadn't face revealed yet. That was pre-face reveal Kevin.
Funny Live,
Yes. And I felt
that
I was
exclusive.
Astonished that I knew what Kevin looked like. I was astonished. That's where I was in this whole thing. It was awesome.
I love that.
I want to do a shout out really quick.
Yeah.
To Greg specifically.
Of course.
For a second, because my mom is on board as me being a content creator, on board with all of this because of one sentence that he did to her. One sentence that he said to her. We went to a gathering with you guys somewhere in Atlanta, and he went to my mom and thanked her for taking us, and brought up the fact that he thinks it's so important for parents to like really lean into like the things that their kids are passionate about, and that it will go a long way for me as a person, and he really does appreciate it. Come like to her. And that was like something I never saw. He got nothing out of that, obviously. You know what I mean? I was a high school kid. She was a mom. But it means so much to her that she loves you guys so much that I could be doing the coolest thing on the planet. And she's like, that's amazing. And now what's going on with Kind of Funny?
I love
you know what I mean?
that.
She's like, oh, like when are you going to San Francisco? She like loves you guys. She loves you guys.
Well, we love you too, Mr. Jacobs.
it really did start from that, and like that is, I do appreciate it a lot because I like am a very family oriented person, and like to treat somebody like that it means a lot. So,
and Greg's a dad now.
Yeah,
like it's crazy because back then that was like not in the cards at all. But I mean, now seeing him, like that's definitely like how he has supported Ben. You know what I mean? Supporting any interest Ben has, even a little of. Greg pushes and supports it so much, and it's such a beautiful thing. So he definitely lives by his words, which is great to see. This episode is brought to you by Built. Y'all already know I'm a big points and rewards guy, but here's a PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you will earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can also be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/kindafunny. That's joinbilt.com/kindafunny. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/kindafunny to start earning points on your rent payments today. It's BILT. This episode's brought to you by Factor. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Greg Miller's been loving how simple it is to enjoy his Factor meals as he's rushing between shows each day here at Kind of Funny. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. With 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Multiple people here at Kind of Funny have been loving their experience with Factor, and you can too. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code factorpodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code factorpodcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. This podcast is brought to you by Stash. Saving and investing can feel impossible, but with Stash, it's not just a reality, it's easy. Stash isn't just an investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with dependable financial strategies to help you reach your goals faster. They'll provide you with personalized advice on what to invest in based on your goals, or if you want to just sit back and watch your money go to work, you can opt into their award-winning expert-managed portfolio that picks stocks for you. Stash has helped millions of Americans reach their financial goals and starts at just $3 per month. Don't let your savings sit around. Make it work harder for you. Go to get.stash.com/kindafunny to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and to view important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/kindafunny. Paid non-client endorsements, not representative of all clients and not a guarantee. Investment advisory services offered by Stash Investments LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Offer is subject to T&Cs. Okay, so MomoCon.
Yes.
Then was the next time we saw you the world tour?
Either that or probably like a PAX something.
Yeah, we were at
maybe.
a ton of PAXs back then.
Yeah. I was really trying to go to everything. Again, at the same time, I really thought I was going to be an IGN journalist at the time. So I was writing things for publications I didn't know existed just so I could get media badges.
Yeah, of
Straight
course.
up, just so I could just show up to like different events and be able to pay for it. That's how my first number leaked. My first phone number leaked because years later, I responded to somebody's Reddit post with my phone number because they wanted to split their hotel room for PAX West. I was 19 years old, and I split a hotel room with a complete stranger just so I can afford going to PAX West, dude. I don't know. Like, in hindsight, I'm like, wow, how am I alive?
Yeah.
But that's how my phone number leaked. Like years later, somebody's like, this can't be true. Karl left his phone number on a Reddit post? How is this?
God, that's so great.
So I think the next time, I don't know if like y'all interacted, but I know prom happened pre me. So
Yes, you're right. So yeah, prom was first. So Karl, I don't think you've ever seen this footage.
Oh God,
I need to show it because
no.
What's funny before you bring it up, Barrett, like what's funny is like I've had a couple like big projects that I've worked on in my life, the Kindafunny Lives, prom, and now the wedding, that like I put my all into like the production of it and making sure that every second being shown is like perfect. Prom was one of the ones that I had so much fun with because we had so much footage of just people in the crowd, and I have this footage of you so in the moment.
Oh God.
And the best thing about this, again, I want to set this up a little more too, because you saying, oh, I wanted to be an IGN journalist. Like that's what you thought your life was going to be. What I love about that is you are definitely of the class that so many people here at Kindafunny are. Barrett, Blessing, Roger, Mike, right? Like so many, like you are in that kind of conversation where I feel like all of you to some extent, like that was the dream or the goal. You know, Barrett even made it there. You know what I mean? It's IGN for a while. But I love that so much. And there is this like amazing kind of rising moment of different classes trying different things. You guys all podcasting together. Like you used to podcast with my brother.
Yeah.
Like, I
did I think 8 episodes of this series with Johnny Hayes. Shout out Johnny, the GOAT. But we both were obsessed with cartoons, and we were like, we should just get cool people to get in a podcast with us and just talk about their favorite cartoon. Because just like seeing cool people talk about things they're passionate about is awesome. Like I was literally just talking to Nick about, I love his the Cine 2 file streams, and I don't know any reference. Maybe I know 3% of the movies that they say out loud, but I just love watching him, Roger, Joey being obsessed with like movies, and just like it's just awesome to me, even if I don't understand it. So it's
so great, man.
Your brother was our first guest. He was the first episode of that entire thing.
I love it so much, man. Like that, it's so freaking funny. But I love that. And you and Roger had a thing together too, right?
I don't know if it ever ended up even becoming a thing. But we tried. We were all trying, dude. Yeah, that's what it was all about.
The point is, y'all were trying, and you found each other in different ways, and I think that there's a lot of beauty there, and I love that there was definitely like a class of people that were standouts in a lot of ways of the community, just because of how active they were, or how much they were attempting to try to make content themselves. And at KF Prom, we had our like prom king and queen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Blessing ended up getting prom king. Zyger got prom queen, and they did their first dance to Time After Time. And now you can play this, please, Barrett.
I remember my outfit from this. That's all I remember.
Yeah, so we have the dancing, which is just hilarious.
With the cape and everything.
Yeah, right here.
There I am.
And then there's Karl singing his heart out.
Loving it. I'm in on that, dude. There's Alex. Holy cow.
I love it. That's all I want to show. But like, God, prom, what a night that was.
That was amazing. That was a highlight for me. That's where I feel like I got much closer to like Blessing. I knew Blessing before then, but that's where I felt like I was really like getting closer to like a lot of the people that I look at as like friends from, that I've gained from that era now, So yeah, that was really cool.
Amazing stuff, man. Banshee says, hey, I was in that video. Yeah, I mean, most people, if you were at KF Prom, you probably are in that video somewhere. And then, yeah, after that, we had the next year we did the KF World Tour. We went to a whole bunch of places, and one of the stops was San Francisco, because we're here, why not? And you were there, and I remember it blew all of our minds, because you had, and you still have, this like glowing young kid energy,
I appreciate that.
And we were like, all of us were just shocked, like, how'd you get here? Because we remembered it's like, oh, last time we saw you with your parents. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you found a way from Oregon down to San Francisco by yourself.
Yeah.
And you were still young enough that felt crazy.
I think I took whatever the equivalent of a Greyhound is. Maybe it was a Greyhound, but I took a bus to that. Yeah, I think. It was for that, and I think, oh my gosh. That's college, Karl. I can tell.
But yeah, so here we are at the meet and greet in San Francisco, and yeah, you were there, and we did a whole thing of like, what does Kindafunny mean to you, and that you were being interviewed there. Barrett, do you have the other one?
Yeah, the KFAF thing, and like that was significant for me because I remember that was like the first meetup I ever did as an employee, and I remember you and I talking for a while just because we were so blown away of like, dude, how old are you and how did you get down here? What is happening right now? But my favorite memory, hold on, I'm trying to find it, is I lost it.
For the vlog, we did a vlog for everywhere we went. And for this one, we interviewed a lot of the best friends asking like, what does Kindafunny mean to you? What's this community mean to you? And there was a lot of really heartfelt answers. Of course, this was the time that KFAF was happening, the best show on the internet with Nick and Andy. And they always need to take all the hard work that we've done to make productions and stuff and steal it for themselves. So they decided for KFAF to ask all the same people like what KFAF means to them.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find the exact time code here. We interviewed a lot of people.
That's awesome. Don't worry.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I got it.
You got it.
Everybody stay in silence. Chat, stop chatting for a second. KFAF because it's funny AF.
I watch KFAF because where else can I get?
I just love it. I just love how deep this all goes, man.
That's so silly.
So that was the last time we saw you. And so that was 2019.
Wow, that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
That's
then the
crazy.
whole pandemic happened.
Yeah.
So a lot went down there. But simultaneously, you went from just being the sweet young kid to this sweet young kid that I'm walking in the mall that I grew up going to, walking past a Journeys clothing store and seeing a giant poster of you.
Which
as
was
the
surreal,
face of Journeys.
Which is, by the way, shout out Journeys. They're awesome. I don't get paid by them anymore, to be clear. We don't even have like a thing going on right now, but they were amazing. They're like one of the best brands I've ever worked with. So I just want to, they're cool.
That was the moment though for me that I was like, what the fuck? Because I knew you were blowing up. But we know a ton of like big content creators. There was something different about this though. It was around that 2020 to 2022 era that all of a sudden you were everywhere, and it got to the point. I mean, we even did that was back when me and Nick did Internet Explorers. We did a whole episode just about you, and just being like, "What the hell? Like, what's happening with this kid?" Because you could not open Twitter without Karl trending.
So behind the scenes, one of my favorite parts of everything. What I found out that I actually really enjoy about content creation is like almost figuring out how to solve things and like figure out how to like learn things, like the algorithms I love. Like, so me and a lot of people, I won't even say anybody's names because I don't know who would care to be associated with this, but like I had a Discord group chat that was dedicated to like learning Twitter, figuring out, and it wasn't even people that were within my exact like group, but like just people being like, hey, I tried this, it did better on Twitter now. Hey, I did this and now this happened. You know what I mean? So I just loved like learning how to
game it.
Yeah, gamify it. So like that was that era, and Twitter since has been like algorithmically ruined, by the way, but but whatever. It's that was so much fun for me, that whole era of like figuring out how to make things trending, and like there was a whole era where, because you know the trending gives descriptions for the trending, so I figured out those are, well, not that it's rocket science, but humans wrote the topics.
They used to, at least. Not anymore.
They don't?
Definitely no.
Okay.
No, they definitely do not anymore. I will never forget when we were trending for the Kindafunny 10-year anniversary last month and reading the AI garbage written about us. It was like, you're kind of there.
But I remember like for like a whole week, because you would have to wait a day to fall off of trending to get a new description. So I would like intentionally try to talk to the guy that was writing the descriptions by talking to them and then forcing people to tweet that with the thing that would go trending, so that we would like have this conversation back and forth. So it was, those were fun times. I don't know. I just went on a tangent, but I
think that's awesome, because like that shows I didn't know that you were intentionally doing anything with the hashtag or with Karl itself, right? Like I thought that was just kind of like a side effect of you like making your content and people being super into it. But no, this was like a attempted.
But it was, to be clear, it was attempted with the community as well. Like
yeah,
it was like, oh, we're doing this. Like this is us like
KFBF for
messing with these
streamies.
people.
Like just
exactly.
one worked and one didn't.
Yeah.
So with that though, like we're now talking about this era of, you know, you go from like making podcasts with Cool Greg to all of a sudden you're trending. What are we missing here?
A lot of things. So at the time, I was close to finishing college. I was getting 2 associate's degrees. I was working on 2 degrees at the same time for video production and multimedia. And I was really worried I was going to graduate, which is like a weird sentence to say out loud. But in my brain, I was like, when I graduate college, I'm going to have to just like kind of buckle down and do something like maybe like more of a normal job. And it's just not where my brain was for me. Like I was like, I just don't think that that's what I want to do. But also I'm not, like I just wanted to keep it in reality. And like my parents were so supportive. I didn't want to like screw anybody over or anything. So I was like, look, in my brain, I was like, if I graduate college before figuring out a reason to drop out of college, then I think I'm going to get a real job and like just like do like, because I don't have a real job right now, to be clear. But so I was trying everything, and I didn't want to drop out for no reason. I wanted to drop out because I literally would need to drop out to, do something like of like the caliber worthy of dropping out, if that makes sense. To be clear, I think college is like, honestly, for my generation, kind of weird, but I think college is like very important. I think it's really cool to go to college. I think like getting an education in general is amazing. I think it's like, if you have the means and the ability, you should really strive to, especially like I went the route of like kind of going to a trade school, learning video production in Portland with like people that were part-time teachers because they were working on Portlandia or Grimm and stuff like that. It was really cool. You know what I mean? So in those regards, I think that's awesome, but I wanted to figure out how to not. And I got an opportunity because I had a friend at MrBeast, and at the time, MrBeast had it was a YouTube channel at that point still.
Yeah.
It was like 10 or 15 million subscribers, which is still
It wasn't a mega
crazy,
corporation.
Yeah, exactly. I think at the time they had probably less employees than you have right now. You know what I mean? So it was my buddy though, he was like, hey, like, I want to start streaming. He's somebody that was on screen at the time. His name's Garrett. He was a on-screen person in Beast. And he's like, I want to start streaming. You stream already. Even though like I was never successful at that point.
But you were streaming consistently. And,
dude,
and what did that look like? Like, what was your audience like?
I got to tell you, this is like my flex of like, I was grinding. I was max credits in college and streaming on average 5 hours a day minimum.
Jeez.
So it was like every day. Like if you averaged out every day, including days I took off, I averaged 5 hours a day. And I was max credits in college. So I was like really trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And streaming wasn't taking off though, but I really felt like I was becoming better at it. Like I was really kind of honing it. Every stream I would end up watching the stream back to like see like I have like words that I keep saying that I don't like. I like pause here every time I do this. I was really kind of like into it. And then I told him I'd help him. I'd set him up his whole stream setup. All in return is ask if they are looking for an editor. That's it. You know, because I was going to school for video editing. I thought that I was getting pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was like, I could try. I fly in, and the day I fly in, he was like, I have a meeting with the manager to talk about you becoming an editor. And I was like, this is amazing.
Wow.
I was in my last quarter of college, period. Like the last quarter, and then I graduate. And I had 11 weeks left. And, or 6 weeks left of an 11-week quarter, sorry. And I took a week off to come visit, to help him set up his thing, and then try to get a job editing. And he comes back that day, I'll never forget. And he was like, so I was like, how'd the meeting with the manager go? And he was like, the manager got fired this morning.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess that's awesome. And then he was like, but, you know, we're talking about his brother starting a YouTube channel. His brother's channel doesn't exist yet, but they will need editors. Do you think you could stay another week maybe? And then we can really try pushing you into that role. And I was like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but now we're talking about missing 2 of my last 6 weeks
Oh
of
my
college. And my mom is just freaked out.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
she's
sure.
like, what is happening? And then I met with the team. At the time it didn't exist yet, but it's the channel, it's Mr. Bro now. And I started, and they were like, hey, we're doing this. Like, we would love for you to be the editor, but you'd have to start now. And then I was like, I'd have to drop out of college with now 5 weeks left before getting 2 degrees.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean? But to me, it was like, I'm just going to bet on myself though, right? Like, I feel like that's the plan. And then I kind of,
Made the right bet.
did it. Yeah, I did it. And that was actually, it was funny. That lines up perfectly with, I went to Ian's wedding from KFBF.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like, they were like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, what the heck? You're like adjacent to MrBeast now.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually insane.
Insane.
And from there, like in a couple months, it was me and my friend Tyler. I love Tyler. He's my best friend in all of MrBeast for sure. And he was on Mr. Bro at the same time as me.
Wait, is Tyler, is that the
He's the one that
showrunner of
yeah.
Beast Games?
He was
Oh
the
my God.
director of Beast Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ, dude.
he was the macro level like writer of it, and like he's the most talented person, bar none, that I've worked with in my life in terms of anything. Like whatever.
Damn, man. That's so cool.
I never can praise him enough. But we were at Mr. Bro at the same time, and it's from there, within like 3 months, me and him ended up combined. We were writing everything. I was leading camera. He was directing. I was on screen, and I was also editing the videos afterwards. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
were basically like doing a lot.
Yeah.
And then Q4 came along, and MrBeast was like, we need to all hands on deck. We're about to do the craziest series we've ever done. We need to bring the people from Mr. Bro over to MrBeast.
So at this point,
yeah.
how big's the team? Ish.
Mr. Bro has me, Tyler, probably 3 more people, and CJ, who's Mr. Bro. And then MrBeast probably has 15,
Okay.
20 employees maybe. And they have like a warehouse and stuff. And they just bought a old church that wasn't a church anymore. It was just abandoned. And we bought it to turn it into a studio, which was, I remember walking into it for the first time. I was like, this is a YouTube, you know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
crazy because this is ridiculous too.
I
Like
know,
this
yeah.
is way cooler than what that was. You know what I mean? So at the time it was like mind blowing to me though.
Yeah.
And that was the series of, we did 4 last to leave videos, and the winner of all 4 of those competed in last to take handoff $1 million keeps it. And they needed all hands on deck. They needed more editors. They needed more camera work, and I did both of those things.
Because you went to a trade school that taught
Exactly.
you those things, so you had the ability to be good enough at
Yeah.
editing and using a camera.
Exactly. And then because of that, I just started being a cameraman there. Whenever Mr. Bro went back to Mr. Bro, I stayed on MrBeast then. So then I became an editor there, and then I started making my way to doing camera work again. And then I started joining like writing sessions, and at that point, I was just always there, and then I kind of became friends with them all, and then I started just being in the videos because of that, and then yeah, the rest is history.